Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible there?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
हाँ साहब नमस्कार उसालिकर
Namaskar, Osalikar sahab, namaskar. So, friends, the India Meteorological Department welcomes you to the seasonal outlook for hot weather season, March to May 2023, and monthly outlook for the month of March 23 for temperature and rainfall. Today on 28th February, it has been customary since 2016 that we are providing outlook for hot weather every year on the last day of February or first day of March. So we are continuing that practice, and today we will be providing these forecasts for hot weather season 2023. If you see the seasonal rainfall during the last winter season, which ended today, is that the country got was not much rainfall during the past winter season. Only East Rajasthan, Gujarat, and Tamil Nadu got normal or above normal rainfall, including Lakshadweep. So four subdivisions got normal or above normal rainfall. Most of the other parts of the country got deficient or large deficient rainfall.
ये क्या बकैती है ये?
Can everyone mute yourself? Can you please mute? Kindly, please. Thank you very much. So, country as a whole got 68% deficient rainfall during the entire season, and all other subdivisions except Northeast and East India were better fared. That the deficiency was 34%. Otherwise, it ranged from 70 to 90% somewhere. So less rainfall during the past winter season. And this is the rainfall summary for the month of February. February, all the subdivisions got deficient rainfall. Less heavy rains occurred. This is not the season for heavy rainfall. A few stations in Northeast and Tamil Nadu, which is the area where normally we get heavy rains, got the rainfall. There were 14 heavy rainfall events this year. It was not so much different from other years except 2019, when we had 90 heavy or very heavy rainfall events. Other year were comparable, 15, 17, 18 heavy rainfall events. So in that term, this year was not very different. The important thing was the temperatures during the last month, February. The maximum temperature, if you see the top left panel and the bottom left, is the anomaly of maximum temperature. Many parts of Northwest India and Central India observed enormously high temperature in the range of 3 to 6 degrees Celsius. Some parts of East Central India got temperature 5 to 6 degrees Celsius on an average for the entire month. And there were some days over South Rajasthan, Saurashtra, Kutch, and Himachal Pradesh, particularly during the week of 14th to 19th of February, when anomalies of temperature on those days were 8 to 9 degrees Celsius above normal. So very warm February on record. And if we see in terms of statistics, for the country as a whole, the maximum temperature ranked number 1 since we have the records available for more than 100 years. So 2023, with a departure of 1.74 degrees Celsius, stood at number 1 in terms of maximum temperature. And in terms of minimum temperature, it ranked number 5 with an anomaly of 0.8 degrees Celsius. The numbers are small, but considering the country as a whole, these numbers are very big numbers. And if we go to the regional picture, the Northwest India, the maximum temperature was 3.4 degrees Celsius above normal, giving it number 1 rank since when we have the data records available. Northwest India, in terms of minimum temperature, was also at rank number 2, following 2006, which stood at number 1. Central India, the rank in terms of max temperature was number 2 with 2.05 degrees Celsius anomaly, and East and Northeast, it ranked number 3 in terms of high temperatures. And this is the same statistics in terms of pictorial graph. It is the all India maximum temperature 2023. This was the highest. Northwest India was also highest, and Central India, it was at number 2 after 2006, which was the highest value. Similarly, for minimum, all India, it ranked number 5. Northwest India in minimum temperature was number 2 after this year 2006. And Northeast India, it ranked at number 3 after 2016 and 1946. Yeah, this is 46 is not there in this graph. It is beyond the range, but it stood at number 3. So the average minimum temperature was the second highest for Northwest and third highest for Northeast India. For country as a whole, it was fifth highest average minimum temperatures. We have been issuing this monthly forecast at the end of every month for the next month. If we see how the forecast for month of February, which we issued on last date of January, fared, on the left side of your panel is the actual rainfall, but we observed over the country as a whole. If we see this red or orange color are the areas of deficient rainfall, and blue and green are area of normal or slightly above normal rainfall. And this was the forecast. If you see the West and Peninsular India, we predicted at end of January that this is going to be the rainfall scenario. These areas will get normal or more than normal rainfall, and same has been realized in the actual rainfall. The forecast for rainfall for the month of February has come nearly correct. And coming to the forecast of maximum temperature for February, which we issued on 1st of the February at the beginning of the month. This was the forecast on the right hand side that peninsula and central parts of the country would get normal or above normal maximum, normal or below normal maximum temperature, and same was realized here. For most other parts of eastern and India and northwest, it was predicted that there will be above normal temperature. Broadly, same has been realized at the end of February, and similar was the case for minimum temperature also. The areas which were predicted to have normal or below normal minimum temperature, they also realized nearly in the same range. So all the three forecasts of rainfall, maximum temperature, and minimum temperature have come correct broadly. So it might have been proved very useful for the planners, taking into consideration that rain forecasts were available about a month in advance. So, and in that line, we are now issuing forecast for the coming month of the March, and also for the outlook for the entire season. It's important to monitor the global parameters for monsoon forecast. If we see the La Nina conditions, still, if we see different regions, neutral to La Nina conditions are prevailing in different parts of the country. Nino 3.4, which is minus 0.5, just as the margin of La Nina and neutral conditions. So they are still prevailing. But if we see on the right hand side, heating has been going on. The regions are different regions, so from December to February have warmed, and the forecast suggests that if you come to the forecast, during the early summer of 2023, neutral La Nina to neutral ENSO conditions are likely to emerge as the season progresses. But IOD is all the forecast models. If we see the bottom left panel, these are different models. If you see here, they are all predicting that IOD is likely to remain in the normal category. In most of the models say within normal, but on the positive side. And the forecast also say different forecast. This is IRI forecast of various models, and also this is the forecast for BOM, which closely the Bureau of Meteorology, which closely monitors the IOD. That also says during summer it will increase, but would remain near normal condition within the normal range. And our own model, that monsoon mission climate forecast system, also indicates the probability of ENSO forecast is that either neutral, mostly the neutral conditions are likely to prevail during first half of this summer, with a rising tendency from now negative neutral to nearly slightly positive neutral conditions. So during early part it will remain, and so would remain near neutral, but towards the positive side. Increasing tendency is predicted by the monsoon mission model being operated by the India Meteorological Department. And IOD also, the IMD model indicates that near neutral condition would prevail through the monsoons this summer and coming monsoon season. Coming to the forecast for which we are here, the probabilistic forecast of maximum temperature for the season as a whole, which is March to May, that indicates that, just a moment, I'll put it on a corner. Based on multimodal ensemble forecast system, said that many parts of the country stretching from northwest through central India and eastern parts of the country, the average maximum temperature during March to May, which is the hot weather season, are expected to be above normal. The peninsular parts of the country and some parts of northeast India are expected to have normal to below normal temperatures in terms of maximum. In terms of minimum, but far more parts of the country, including Northwest, are expected to have more than average minimum temperature in the coming season. It's only the peninsula where temperatures are expected to be near normal. Most of the parts, they are expected to be near normal. The green is the probability for normal. So hardly any blues except for extreme south parts of the country. So except peninsula, all other parts, the night temperatures are expected to be warmer than normal. Coming to outlook of maximum temperature for the month of March 2023, is that for the month of March, entire country outside peninsular India and Maharashtra is expected to have above normal maximum temperature during the month of March, and maximum anomaly is expected in northwest parts of the country, Rajasthan and adjoining Gujarat, and also the eastern parts of the country, which is Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and some northeast parts of the country. It's the peninsula and some parts of Maharashtra where normal to below normal temperatures on an average are expected over the country during month of March. Coming to minimum temperature, it's nearly same picture. It's only the peninsular parts of the country where normal to below normal temperatures are expected. The entire northwest, western parts, central parts, and eastern parts of the country, the minimum temperature during the month of March 2023 are expected to be above normal. Heat wave are an important phenomena which happened during this season of March to May. If you see the probability of heat wave during the month of March to May, there is increased probability that the central parts of the country, stretching from extreme west parts in Gujarat right up to West Bengal, are expected to have very high probability of occurrence of heat waves during the season. Extreme south peninsula and northeast India, the probability is less. That's for the season as a whole from March to May. Coming to March, the probability of heat wave occurrence is relatively low, but some parts in central India are expected to get heat wave during that month of March also. And the outlook for the month of March says that the monthly rainfall over the country as a whole during March 2023 is most likely to remain in normal, which is defined as 17% plus minus of the long period average, 83 to 17%, which is 29.9 millimeter. So below normal rainfall is likely over most parts of northwest India, west central India, and some parts of east and northeast India. And normal to above normal rainfall is likely over most parts of the peninsular India, east central India, and some isolated pockets in northeast, extreme northeast. If you see the Arunachal Pradesh area, that may get some normal to above normal rainfall. All other parts are expected to get a below normal rainfall. And the two are linked. The areas where rainfall expectancy is low are also expected to have high temperatures. So if you can summarize it, during the upcoming hot weather season, March to April, above normal maximum temperatures are likely over most parts of northeast India, east and central India, and some parts of northwest India. And normal to below normal temperatures are expected in rest parts of the country. The minimum temperatures are likely to be above normal over most parts of the country except the South Peninsula, where normal to below normal temperature would occur. For the month of March, it is expected that both maximum and minimum temperatures over most parts of the country outside peninsular India are expected to be above normal condition. Probability of heat wave during March to May is likely high over central parts of India, adjoining north parts of India, and east central parts of the country, and low probability is over peninsular parts of the country. And rainfall in March 2023 average over whole country is expected to be normal in the normal range, which is 83 to 117% of the long period average. And most parts of the country outside peninsular India are expected to get less than normal rainfall. Thank you. That was the forecast for the month of March to May for the season and also individually for the month of March. Thank you very much.
सर
Yes, please.
सर मैं अनिरुद्ध बोल रहा हूँ दैनिक भास्कर से।
जी
सर मैं
अनिरुद्ध।
ये जानना चाह रहा था कि क्या लास्ट ईयर जो मार्च का महीना था ये अनएक्सपेक्टेड हाई टेम्परेचर रहे थे, तो क्या इस बार हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि उससे भी ज़्यादा गुजर सकता है कुछ ऐसा, क्योंकि लास्ट ईयर की रैंक 1 बोल रहे थे जब हम 2022 में मार्च की गर्मी की बात कर रहे थे।
यस, देखिए मार्च के महीने की जो फोरकास्ट है फॉर द कंट्री एज ए होल, इट्स एक्सपेक्टेड दैट एक्सेप्ट पेनिनसुला इट विल बी वार्म, in quantitative terms, individual stations may exceed, but how would entire country fare? These are the probabilities. So last year, if you see in the middle of March, around 17th, the western parts of the country got extremely high temperatures. So comparable to that, if we see the heat wave during March this year are expected to be low probability, but central parts of India would get some heat wave.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, hi. Good afternoon. My name is Parthasarthi Bishwas. I'm calling from the I'm from the Indian Express. I have two questions, sir. You mentioned this February was unusually hot. It was the hottest on record in terms of maximum temperature. And hello.
Yes, I'm listening to Bishwas, sir.
Also, sir, I wanted to know that we are talking about a neutral ENSO condition. I know it's very early for the monsoons or anything, but there are some murmurs going on about not so happy monsoon. Would the IMD like to comment about that? Because some of the political leadership in Maharashtra had commented about it, that this is not going to be a very happy monsoon.
Yeah, Bishwas, sir, we will come up with the first forecast, official forecast of monsoon in middle of April. And that it has got a reason for that, because the forecast for ENSO particularly, what we call a spring barrier, the February forecast have got relatively less confidence than the April forecast. Therefore, we will come with a statement only around 15th of April.
Okay.
For monsoon.
Okay. And what is the reason for this very hot February? Is there a certain reason that you can attribute to, or is it a run-of-the-mill thing?
Not exactly run of the mill. If you see the entire globe, the entire northern hemisphere, the Europe, West of Asia, and India, they got less rainfall because of reduced thunderstorm and rainfall activity, clear skies, and persistent anticyclone over this area, which led to higher temperatures. Prolonged absence of rainfall activity that caused this temperature to shoot up of certain days. You see, 19th probably were the highest departures. After that, a western disturbance impacted. Temperatures subsided to some extent, but as the rainfalls were not widespread, the subsidence was, temporary, and it did not lead to complete subsidence of the high temperatures. So the prolonged absence of rainfall activity, clear skies, anticyclone, those are the reasons.
And this is the highest since 1970, right?
This is highest since 1877.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Sir, Dikshit here.
Hello.
I'm calling from Shastra magazine of IIT Madras. From what you say, we are looking at an exceptionally hot March. What would you say for the rest of the summer season, sir? I mean, I know it's monthly, but April and May, what would be are we looking at a really severe summer? And what kind of preparations should the administration do, keeping this thing in advance?
Coming to the forecast, if you see the forecast for March are relatively better in the sense that less heat waves are expected in March, and April and May we expect more heat waves. So the temperature during April and May, normally they are warm and they are expected to be warmer than normal, except peninsular part of the country. So it is going to be warm. Coming to preparedness, I think we need to consult all the stakeholders and various ministries to whom we will be sharing this forecast to public media, and they will design their action plans and what is to be rolled out for the users.
Sir, this is Jayashree from Hindustan Times. I have a couple of questions. One is that the February early onset of heat, of course, the immediate reason was the subsidence, but is it linked in any way to climate change, and how would you link it to climate change? And the second question is on the agro impact of early heat, summer-like conditions in February and March. What is your recommendation to the farmers? How should they adapt to this?
Jayashree, this was exceptionally warm, and entire globe is living in this era of climate change and global warming. But to delineate this particular event, whether it was part of the global warming or it would have been without global warming also, is normally a matter of diagnosis. So researchers will be diagnosing it. Was it part of the climate change and global warming, or it could have occurred otherwise also? But we are living in a warming world, and this is part of the entire global warming. Coming to agriculture, Agriculture Ministry is geared up. They have issued advisory recently For specifics, Jayashree, probably you need to contact Department of Agriculture, but advice they are giving to the farmers in long term. But they've issued a general advisories. I'm privy to that. It's available on the website of Ministry of Agriculture. They are gearing up their extension mechanism to advise the farmers and other intermediate stakeholders for taking all the possible actions to minimize, if there can be, any adverse impacts. So far, it has not been reported, any adverse impact. And Ministry of Agriculture has taken cognizance of it, and they have issued appropriate advisories.
Sir, this is
may-
Manasi Joshi from Pune Free Press Journal. Manasi Joshi, Free Press Journal, Pune. My question is related to what Jayashree had asked. Last year also we had a very unexceptional summer, and considering the agricultural output, it was low. That's what the farmers had told me. Secondly, last year we had many cyclones coming up. That was the reason, probably because we had no summer rains during March and April, month of March and April. How do you see this year?
This
So you
year,
have predicted that we'll have rains, but still.
no, we will have below normal rain over most parts of the country except South Peninsula. So that's what the forecast for the entire for the month of March is, and for rest of the months we will update at the end of March. It is expected that outside Peninsula the rain would be less than normal.
I just wanted to ask one more question. You said that the temperatures would be in the above normal range for the northern belt. By what degree can you say? Like, would it be 0.5 degrees, or can you just quantify it?
See, this seasonal forecast really do not quantify the anomalies. They give probability of occurrence of more than normal. More than normal is, we define normal, below normal, and above normal in terms of precise. The lowest 33% of the years are categorized as below normal, middle 33 as normal, and above 33 as above normal temperature. So this is very likely that the temperatures this year in March over most parts of northwest, central, and eastern parts of the country would fall in the upper percent, so top 33% of the years, which is above normal.
Sir, Meghna Mittal from Money Control.
Yes.
You have said that March to May the temperatures will be above normal. Do you also see it as an impact of El Nino that is developing?
Impact of El Nino would come relatively later, which is not so far during early summer. We are predicting that it will not be El Nino, but it will a neutral positive condition. And El Nino forecast mainly impacts the rainfall, which we are monitoring. And because the forecast do not suggest that it is going into El Nino category, they are still remaining in neutral ENSO conditions. So it's too early to define. And that, as I told you, April would be the appropriate month when the forecast of El Nino are more firm. The models themselves are better capable, better confident to predict the El Nino in future. So for impact of rainfall of El Nino, we have to wait till middle of April. That around 15th of April, we will provide you the forecast updates.
Sir, this is
Nivedita from TV9 Network. My question is regarding the rainfall prediction that you did for Northeast in March. And in connection with that prediction, how far has it fared from January to this? Because, I mean, I would want to know about the winter rainfall quantum.
Winter rainfall quantum over
Northeast India.
Northeast India or Northwest?
Northeast.
Northeast India, the deficiency for the month of February was 34%. But if you put together, can I share the PPT again?
Yes,
I'll
sir,
show
please.
you. The figures are there. I'll show you. Oh. Yeah. So this is month of January. Northeast India in January got 89% less rainfall. In the month of February, it got 34% rainfall. For the season as a whole, 1st January to 27th February, data is up to yesterday, East and Northeast India got 55% less than normal rainfall.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
सर मैं विनोद यादव महाराष्ट्र प्रतिमी मराठी से सर स्पेसिफिक महाराष्ट्र में इस मार्च में तापमान क्या रहने की उम्मीद लग रही है और पिछले साल की तुलना में ये कितना अधिक गर्म रहने की उम्मीद है?
If you see Maharashtra for the month of let's say come to March to May, for the season as a whole, if you can see this, it's going to be normal, to below normal more likely. But for the month of March, if you see, some part of Maharashtra, particularly western parts, may get above normal temperatures.
Thank you, sir.
This is March maximum temperature. So March is Maharashtra is expected to get nearly normal, except some parts which may get more than normal temperatures. It's there. We will upload this PPT and the press release soon. I think press release is being uploaded. You will soon get it. But it's important that night temperature will be above normal or most parts of the country, including Maharashtra.
Good evening, Bhan Sahab. This is Vincent Kurian from Business Line speaking.
Yes, Vincent.
Could you just tell us what will be the nor'wester season this year? You know, the usual lightning and rough weather activity for the Northeast, and will this have any effect on the incoming summer season for the whole of Northwest India also? Thank you.
Vincent, these convective phenomena, as you know, are really difficult to predict on the seasonal time scale. But we will be providing the update on weekly out for next 4 weeks and in medium time scales exactly telling. But to quantify number of nor'westers during the entire season at this stage is really difficult, Vincent.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, this is Ashish Deshmukh from Pune, Pudhari.
Ashish.
हाँ सर, ये साल जो धूप है वो बहुत ज्यादा कड़क है और पूरे मार्च और मई तक बारिश नहीं है, तो इसका असर कुछ मानसून पर गिरेगा सर? मानसून अच्छा होएगा, ऐसा कुछ इसका प्रेडिक्शन दे सकते हैं अभी?
वो आशीष हम आपको मिड अप्रैल में बता पाएंगे. We consider all these factors towards middle of, because monsoon is not dependent on a single parameter. And the evolution of atmospheric condition up to certain date impact monsoon. Say up to February they impact, but up to middle of April we are more sure that parameters up to this stage and a mix of them, combined impact of them. So we will be coming up with forecast only during close to 15th of April.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. Srishti, this side of CNN News 18. Sir, I wanted to understand the number of western disturbances have been particularly low this year. Any unusual pattern you see? And second is the probability of heat waves in March.
Coming to western disturbances, it's not that they are coming less for the first time this year. It's part of larger interscale variability. The entire northern hemisphere, the WDs also impact Europe and Western Asia and other Asian landmass. The activity has been particularly low over the entire region. It's not just in India. So activity of western disturbances has been low because they are a global phenomenon. Western disturbances is not that they impact us. These are global waves which travel from west to east across the globe. So they have been less dominant this year. India become being one of the parts of the globe also got less WDs and therefore less rainfall. And coming to the heat waves, I think March to May there increased probability of heat waves over this central belt, starting from Gujarat through other central parts of the country to eastern parts. These are the areas where probability of heat waves is higher. If that is okay, or some other. I don't see any hands going up.
Yeah, good evening, Bhan sir. This is Palas. So the heat wave is mostly due to the minimum temperature of increase, or it will be maximum also for
Heat
this
wave
upcoming?
primarily defined based on maximum temperature. In India, we have a definition defining heat wave based on the deviation of maximum temperature from average. It should be 4.5 degrees Celsius or more, and in plains, it should reach at least 40 degrees Celsius. The coastal areas, 37, and for the hills, that limit is 30 degrees Celsius.
Yes, so that means in the March, the maximum temperature will be from deviation will be more than 4.5 in the many places.
On some days and some places, because this forecast is for the entire season. Now, from tomorrow onwards, we will start providing color-coded warnings of heat wave, indicating the severity of heat waves whenever and wherever at a district scale. So from 1st of March, our heat wave information would start rolling out. We provide it to everyone so that different actions can be taken.
Sir, I just have one question.
For the season as a whole, individual days would be warmer and cooler within the season.
Okay, thank you, sir. So their definition and calculation is only based on the maximum temperature in each deviation.
Based on maximum temperature.
Okay, heat wave warnings would be for how many days?
Out to next 5 days.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, I just have one question.
This forecast is probability. Those will be quantitative. Temperature expected, say in Aurangabad, this many degrees Celsius on 3rd of March. That would be quantitative.
Sir, I wanted to know in February, I know that there was a heat wave alert issued and then the conditions improved. But was there any heat wave condition reported from any part of the country in February?
The February heat wave conditions as per criteria were not satisfied. Therefore, no warnings were realized. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And we will upload this PPT and the press release on the website. Thank you very much. Thank you all. And thank you, Dr. Hosalikar, Dr. Bala, Dr. Srijit, and my colleagues here, Dr. Jainamani and others. Thank you very much. Thank you.